Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia and this is the situation report, the summary for the day of 1183 for the 21st of May 2025 for the Ukraine war or the special military operation in Ukraine. We're going to start off immediately to the Sumy front, where the Russians are still conducting their counter-offensive, which is honestly is transiting into like an offensive that rather than not. Over in the Tekhino sector, this is Tekhino. The Tekhino sector, Russian forces are attacking at Bestalivka as well as Perlivka. So this is a lot smaller scale. Previously, we have fighting reported over at Rizivka and Etinsky. So now it's mainly just in this area here. So that's all from this sector. Over at the Sumy sector, this seems to be where the Russians are really pushing right now. Where the fighting is now being reported at Dvorichna or Dvorichna. This is the first time I've seen this place being mentioned. Fighting is also reported at Yablonevka, Satki, Mauritia, Myropilia, which I also haven't seen this for a long time. So it's Mauritia, as well as shelling reported at Marine. There's also a possibility that the Russians may have taken Yunakivka and they are attacking Marine. It's not impossible to really, think that is a possibility. Like Myropilia, the last time was early this month. Mauritia should be much later, since 1st of May. So Dvorichna is the first time this is mentioned by the Russian Defense Ministry. So these are all very a lot. This basically the entire front line is now under attack. So we shall see whether this is anything. The Ukrainian Defense Ministry posted on the Telegram channel, saying that they are still in the Russian territory. They are disputing claims that they are entirely pushed out of Russia. And also this is a major important news. The Russians have weaponized cucumbers. So the Russian cucumbers are going to attack Poland. So the Russian assault troops, I think there will be a cucumber brigade or divisions attacking. Who knows? The ones that is attacking in these regions are all cucumbers. Okay, from the rest of this report, I'm going to call them cucumbers right now. So we're going to move on to the next front line, the Kharkiv front. So this is Kharkiv city. Over at Kharkiv front, there is only fighting being reported at Voschansk, where the cucumbers continue to plant seeds over in this region here. Tentatively, this is very flattened, perfect for farming for cucumbers. And we're going to move on to the next front line, which is the Dvorichna front. So this is Dvorichna city. Over the Dvorichna front, this is Dvorichna front. In the northern flank, fighting still being reported over at Kanyamka, where the Russians are still feeling very cool as cucumber, but tentatively we cannot confirm the coolness of them around Kanyamka because there is no evidence to show that cucumbers are cold. So going down to the southern flank, there is also fighting in this sector. The cucumbers are launching cucumber assaults against Malashakivka as well as Kindrashivka. There is not much to talk about this moment, but this is pretty interesting because we haven't seen fighting being reported here since the 10th of May. Kindrashivka is since 10th of May as well. So this is a new revitalized, rejuvenated assault by the cucumber assault troops. We're going to see how the cucumber is going to ride motorcycles and storm trenches and plant cucumber seeds. And we're going to move on to the next front line, which is the Kupiansk front. So this is Kupiansk, and so this is the Kupiansk front. Rear of the Kupiansk front, there is shelling being reported at Neshvolodivka. There is also fighting reported at Kupiansk and towards Novo-Osinove. Otherwise, this is nothing special, strategically more or less the same. The next front line, which is the Borova front. So this is the Borova front. This Borova. Borova front is this. So the Russians continue their two-pronged attack with fighting reported in the northern direction, in the northern area. Zarizove and Novokryakivka is being mentioned. and in the eastern part there is Shikivka and Novosahiyevka being mentioned. So otherwise, strategically more or less the same, nothing new about this. So we're going to move on to the next front line, which is the Liman front. So Liman, we also nickname this as lemon or crispy lemon, because the Russian name is actually Krasny Liman, or the red Liman. And so lemon with a cucumber definitely makes a very healthy drink. So you may want to consider drinking that, although I got a feeling that it's going to be sour and cooling, and you may want to add some orange juice. It will be a bit not so sweet, not so nice to drink. So in the northern flank, we have the Russians continuing their offensive around this sour place, with fighting reported at Horakivka, Ohievka, Shalins reported at Andrievka, fighting towards Novi Maria, Klushchenkove, Rikudup, and Zelena Dolena. There's a Russian cucumber drop on the Ukrainian temporary deployment point. Definitely, making them feeling very green about this. Over in the southern flank, there is fighting reported at Dvorichna through the Serbian forestry, which is a rarity. We haven't heard this quite a bit. Maybe it's due to the need to find more farmlands for cucumber, because if not, they are running out of manpower, right? So, and who knows? You can have AK made of cucumbers too. Where we fire seeds. Okay, let's stop with the cucumber joke. It's getting a bit old. So over at the Siversk front, this is Siversk, and this is the Siversk front. The fighting mainly is still over in the northern flank, where the fighting is currently happening. We have covered this yesterday. The Russian claims to have taken everything around here. Fighting is reported at Bilohorivka, towards Serebryanka, at Verkhamokanyamsky, as well as towards Siversk. It is important to also highlight that the Russians' attack at Verkhamokanyamsky is not just within the settlement, but also in the northern flanking operations. As they are flanking north, this is the high ground north of Verkhamokanyamsky. So this is very important for them to take the high ground before they can actually take the town itself. So that's all from the Siversk front. We move on to the next front line, which is the Bakhmut front. So this is Bakhmut. And over the Bakhmut front, there is fighting reported towards Minkivka. This is I think the second day continuing of this fighting, or no, it's third day. So we have this continued attack around the Minkivka region. Fighting is reported at Priteshne and in the Chasivya region. Over at Shavone, there is an airstrike by the Cucumber Air Force on the Ukrainian position. So far, that's nothing much happening. So that's about it in the Bakhmut front. We move to the next front line, which is the New York front. So this is New York City. I know it looks very different from the New York City in your brain, but it is New York City, and this is the New York front. So over in the eastern flank, in the Thorax region, fighting is reported towards Alexandro Shutine. Fighting is reported at Druzhba, Dilievka, and around Thorax. So it feels a little bit slightly less intense in this sector. And there is still no resolution to the very complicated front line around here at this moment. Over in the New York sector, there is only fighting being reported at Zoria, where I thought that the Russians may take a quick capture of Zoria, but that didn't seem to be the case. And we move to the western flank. We have the fighting reported towards Yablunivka, probably coming from Novoolenivka. Fighting is reported towards Popivya, as well as over at Nova Patavka. There is also fighting reported towards Rusinya in the north of here. So most likely coming out from this sector as they push out. So the Russians are making all this push, consolidating their positions around here. It's bad situation in this area here. This one I already reported before. It is the I'm not sure if I reported before on the SITREP, but this is the Ukrainian mapping. Yeah, I did. The Ukrainian mapping that confirmed that the Russians have captured all the grounds north of Novopatavka. Over in the Pokrov front. So this is Pokrov, and this is Mirograt, and this is a mouse. Yeah, okay, yeah, this is a mouse. So so this is the Pokrov front. Over in the eastern northern flank, Volodymyrivka is mentioned for the first time in this front line, and shelling is also reported at Shakove, very far away. Not important because it's too far away. So fighting is reported at Shevchenko Pershi. There is shelling reported at Koptiv, Razine, and this push towards Volodymyrivka or Vladimirovka. So mainly that seems to be the case. It is also related to the fighting nearby, just next door at Popivia and Nova Petovka. This very similar, in more or less the same operation. Over in the Minograd sector, this is Minograd. Fighting is reported at Yelizavetivka, Marolubivka, Promin, as well as towards Minograd. So this is only this area here, I believe, still potentially have some frontline change. I don't expect anything to happen around the Promin region because this is a static line. Minograd is just too near. The next front line is the Pokrov sector. At the Pokrov sector, we have fighting reported. So did I cover this like this? So yeah, so let's I got very confused. Fighting is reported at Lisievka, Dechanske, towards Pokrov, and at Kotline. This entire front line, don't expect too much. Nothing much is going to happen around here unless it's Kotline, with the Russian forces potentially could go from Kotline to attack and cut off the highway near Khrushchene. But tentatively, the Russians doesn't seem to want to push that direction. It seems like there is still too many positions that they want to consolidate before they want to do this flanking operation to the rear of Pokrov. At the western flank, we have fighting reported at Udashne, Novosahievka, and towards Novomykolaivka. The Novomykolaivka is mentioned by the Ukrainians, so clearly they have acknowledged that the Russians is nearby. They are getting close to the Dnipropetrovsk Oblast. Over in the southern flank, we have fighting reported at Koterivka, Horikove, and Troyske. This one, nothing particularly special about this. This is more or less the same situation as per routine. We move to the next front line, which is the Koma front. And before you go into Komatos, if you're not subscribed, highly suggest you to subscribe, because you may never ever see me again because of how the YouTube algorithm have changed. And also for those that are subscribed, do check the subscription button. Make sure you are not sniped by the YouTube sniper. And happy birthday to you if your birthday today. And we go into Komatos at the... In case you don't know what's Komatos, like maybe you never see this word before. Komatos means you fainted. Over at the Andriivka front. No, Andriivka sector. So over at the Andriivka sector of the Koma front, fighting is reported at Andriivka, towards Oleksievka, Brahate, as well as towards Odradne. Over at Oleksievka, there's an FPV drone strike being geolocated, showing Ukrainians clearly still in the presence of the western part of Oleksievka at least. And so otherwise, strategically, nothing changed around here. Over in the Koma sector, there is fighting reported over towards Koma and over at Shevchenko. I may have not mapped this. Yeah, I didn't update this mapping. So let me do this quickly. So this is how I do the mapping, and everything is done by hand. And so which is also why every time when I do the recording, I look super tired, because it is quite painful sometimes to do these mappings. So that's mainly the fighting around this central region. There's no shelling in the rear. Over in the southern flank, we have fighting reported at Zelene Pole, Novopil. Rivnopil is mentioned by the Ukrainians. You see, as usual, Ukraine always report about fighting in the rear positions, which the front line have already moved on. And there's a geolocation northwest of Novosilka, confirming some Russian advance in this sector. But it's not super important. As you can see, this is still the middle of nowhere. This move towards Komishuvacha is still far away. potentially they could flank into the rear of Vinipole. So no, that's mainly about it. And we move on to the next front line, which is the Zaporizhia front. So this is Zaporizhia, and this is the Zaporizhia front. We still have fighting across all three sectors. So over at Huaypole sector, this is Huaypole. There is still fighting reported at Vysoké or Chervony, in this region. Huaypole is actually in Russian known as Guyapole or Guyapol. Yeah, you can see here already spelled Guyapolskogo. So yeah, the Ukrainians are very confused. Like, no. Move on to the Orkhiv sector and the Kamsky sector, because this is one continuous fighting operation. Fighting is reported towards Novoandrievka, Shebaki, towards Pavlivka, as well as Stepove. This offensive continues. I don't assume too much about this, because I also don't expect too much from here, because I think the defense line is still too strong for the Russians to just make a breakthrough. So, and that's all from the Zaporizhia front. In the rear position, over at Dnipro, there is a alleged Patriot battery getting destroyed in the village of, in the middle of nowhere, actually. It's in the middle of Titorove as well as Novotoromsky. So very far away, just off Dnipro. So yeah, interesting that they're actually going for the Patriot missiles. So let's see, what is this, going to be. And over at the Kherson front, the Kherson front, and this is the last front line. So as usual, do press the like button as we go into this last front line. And yeah, and I also check out towards the end of the video, I'll put up the video on Trump meeting the South African delegation in the White House. The comment section is a mess. I just want to say before if you do click and watch it, it's not anything about conspiracy, or it's not. I'm not talking about the whatever genocide thing that may or may not happen in South Africa. What the video is about is to tell you guys not to believe the soundbite that is coming out from the meeting, but to actually watch the actual thing. The actual meeting towards the end of it is super positive. I think that Donald Trump in real time has his opinions and views changed by the delegation, and it seems like they're going to have a good deal at the end of it, and that the United States may actually go in to help South Africa to solve a lot of problems at the request of the president, but the South African president. Yeah, so but the comment section is a mess. As all controversial issues, as we move into the cursed sun front. And as the sun is being cursed, there is fighting reported in the Dnipro direction. According to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, they said the cucumbers tried to move forward. They were unsuccessful because cucumbers have no legs. And there is also shelling reported at Mikhailsky, and that's about it. So that's it. So this is the entire summary for the day of 1183 for the 21st of May. So thank you for watching, and check out the video. Honestly, yeah, people have too much preconceived notions. Like, open your brain, don't believe in the sound bites. Watch the whole thing, particularly the original source from the White House, and you then can see, it's actually a very positive meeting. A lot of these, assertions coming from the American side, about South Africa and all these, refugee issues, the supposed genocide issue is actually, being explained really well by the South African delegation, and this, the golfers, the Trump's friends, who are South Africans, and as they try to explain the situation. And I think it was a super positive meeting for the South Africans. So anyway, that's it. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next update.